All right, kids. So we'll talk something about real simple about my perspective on the media that we get access to. It's all obviously you get access to certain things that are promoted, right? Stuff that's promoted is promoted by an industry, right? We understand that, right? You get access to certain things in the music industry that get promoted at a certain level. You get access to certain things on TV, the computer, however it works, whatever web platforms you use, because that's predominantly where the advertising happens and the social engineering happens. Advertising is choreographed around it, right? We're post consumerism, post capitalism, right? Where they're no longer producing so much stuff in the country that they're selling the things in, but they're marketing the things that are made in another country to sell in the parent country that the company is, because they're bringing in stuff from somewhere else, selling it here. And they have to figure out how to garner enough enthusiasm in the market for it to be viable, right? Bottom line, they use marketing and stuff to get you interested and engaged. And when the economy is failing, right, we go toward a service economy where realistically you can't afford lots of goods. So they try and sell you services to make your shit easier, or easier to do this, applications for this and that, right? You really don't need any of that stuff. A lot of the stuff can get dumped out of the market. It's sapping value out of your guys' lives. If you're not using it daily, you're not doing something beneficial with it, and it's not adding value, then it's taking value, right? Subscriptions to stuff. Get out of your lives, guys. I never fuck with that shit. No kinds of subscriptions. That's garbage. It's no time for it, right? And realistically, Americans, if you're throwing people money online and it's not like a scale of economy that you're involved in, you're just wasting money. Entertainment's free. The ripoff costs money, right? Anyways, some thoughts. We're in a situation where they've used us to promote all their stuff. That's what YouTube is. YouTube's a rolling promotion using all of us and our information, our personality, no matter what it is. They're still using it to promote all sorts of stuff. You get access to what you would normally have access to in the world, humans, right? It makes it easier for you to access them over the YouTuber because they don't have to cultivate a conversation with these people to get all this great value out of their brainy annies, right? They're just going to talk to it, put it on the YouTube, and you can just enjoy it. Social engineering right there. And it's going awry for them, right? Which is why we're going to see all sorts of, you got to be 18 to get on. Let's lose all of our privacy so that we can figure out how to deal with making more people criminals, right? Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to just make more people criminals. That's all they do. They don't actually solve problems. They just make more people criminals. Because that solves the problem somehow. That we make everybody proving that they're 18 to get on. And now I got a bunch of people that I've got to set up a system to regulate this really non-criminal activity that we made criminal, right? Because prohibition always worked, right? Because outlawing always works, right? No, all this shit works just for a period of time. And if there's enough enthusiasm behind the things, you end up with all these other break-off things that it creates, right? Whether it's black markets or seedy organizations and cabals making sure that stuff's always there, right? However they link it together. All this social engineering is from the people above, guys. You are social engineered to be the self-loving individuals of the future and the perfect working components for these companies. You don't really know too much. You really don't have any major skills. If you go to school, you just paid for stuff so you can have debt over your head, so you're definitely going to be applied to your next job and not want to leave. And not feel like, oh, these people are a-holes, I could just find better work-life balance. No, you've got so much debt over, you're not thinking about that. That's your system, guys. Bait and switch. Over and over. You're coming to the middle for this and that because you're like, oh, the middle has information. They have education. No, they have information and education for you to get engaged with, for them to sap you out of your value, guys. There was a great resurgence of social cohesiveness in the 2000s. I remember coming out of the Obama era where people had to band together to keep it together, right? Because the economy failed over and over. the dot-com. There was a bunch of stuff that happened after and over, and there was a housing crisis. And then we got out of it, and we had a little bit of prosperity. We forgot what it brought us to prosperity. It was people getting cohesive, deregulating, and allowing free enterprise to happen here. We've got it overregulated, and we've got these industries that don't belong here. And they push all this fucked up self-love, self-individuality message. Oh, identity politics. Okay, great. But guess what that did? That divided you 350 million ways out from the center. And the center is where y'all live. Y'all live in the center. Cohabitating. No one thinks about that. No one thinks about it. No one wants to think about what exactly are we pushing between each other, and then allowing to propagate, and then allowing to co-authorize when people talk about stuff. And we're not talking about conversations where people co-authorize the stupid ideologies of other people because they've heard them before, not because I actually think them or had experiences with those people. The formulations of opinions I have about certain people is my negative experiences with them, because there are fucking many, right? I don't just, hey, cuz of color of skin. I got experiences on my back that fucking, if I believe that your fucking snowflake ass believe in your opinion and I apply it to myself, I'm not going to have a benefit because I have a shitload of experience about certain people fucking me off. So to take up your ideology is not possible, right? No matter how much you fucking package it, no matter how much you browbeat me or tell me I'm a bigot. I ain't a bigot. I don't believe in your stupid Bible. And then on top of it, your ideologies are fucking oppressive. All of them, including your labeling capacities. Your labeling, it's oppression. Bottom line. It's your opinion, and then everybody's got to suck it up and believe on it. Right? Bullshit. I got the Constitution. Don't need it. And without that, I have the God-given authority to make sound out my fucking mouth. But people forget about all that. We want to socially browbeat everybody into corners to where you can't be effective as a media influence or a producer or anything in anything if you have opinions. Your opinions must align with our corporate culture. Yeah, it's a corporate occupation, motherfucker. I've got all sorts of stuff that says you're in between me and my civil liberties and rights. When is that going to stop, guys? You have to suck cuck dick for every informational response that you do. You put anything out, you have to make sure it's graduated and stratified along the societal lines that your people are allowing to come out. Any information, any light that's not their light, they don't want it. Well, the problem is that is not what we ought to have. That's social engineering, goddammit. You don't see that? And everybody's playing into it because they want $1. They don't want a few dollars. They want to have all the goddamn dollars. Right? Anyways. Gripes because there's complacency. Gripes because there's complacency at every level. You can't change if everyone's complacent. But you want to complain about the problem. I say you shouldn't complain about the problem if you vote for the problem. Right? Anyways. I've always been saying that. Wait till you find out if you don't vote, you're still going to have the same fucking problem. Something else has to happen, guys. We got to reject it societally. You know how we screwed the fucking slavers? We quit buying their fucking shit. Quit liking their ideologies. Pointed out all their talking points and rejected it all. And came to the middle. And then we got something done. Just some thoughts. Later, beloved.